host.
I'm the host with a broken computer. That sounds funny, but I'm doing it in front of an iPad, so that's okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Faces for Autism Streaming with Love Telethon. I'm Jacob Hackett. Just a reminder, we have only about a few minutes left. So if you would like to donate, please get your donations in. And thank you to everyone who has donated tonight. My next guest this evening he's the Executive Director for the Atlantic Center for Independent Living, here to tell us more about what the Atlantic Center for Independent Living is and how you can get involved. Please welcome Executive Director Donald Campbell.
Hi, thank you, Jacob. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to do this again. I know we did this last year, but I love Faces and love the telethon, so it's great to be here. Let me straighten up my camera so you can see my beautiful face and so I don't hear any criticisms from my mother. We couldn't see your face on the telethon. You know, we don't want that. So Atlantic Center for Independent Living is a disability resource, advocacy, and support center for people with all disabilities in Atlantic County. Now, Centers for Independent Living exist nationwide, and we are the center for Atlantic County, New Jersey. There's a center that serves each county in New Jersey. A lot of centers, serve multiple counties. And they provide 5 main services. Information referral, so we connect people to resources. We help them with applications for housing, for SNAP benefits, for Medicaid, stuff like that. We do advocacy, so if anybody needs help applying for Social Security or they need help getting an accommodation at work or at school, we help with that. We do peer support, either one-on-one. You know, somebody could call with an issue they're facing because of their disability or just because of life, and we'll talk them through it and support them. We also have peer support groups where we help people, find groups and find community by talking about different issues affecting people with disabilities. We have a chronic pain support group. We have a support groups teaching communication skills. We have all different types of support groups that you can find on our Facebook page. Just type Atlantic Center for Independent Living. We also have life skills training, where we help people learn skills like negotiation, communication, stress management, job writing, resume writing, the interview process, job searching, any life skill you can think of, financial management that anyone needs to succeed with having a disability. And we also help with transition services. So we help people get resources if they're in a nursing home and want to move into the community, if they're living somewhere more isolated and want to live in the community, if they are transitioning from school to work or school to college, whatever their next phase of life is. And also, if without our services, they might end up in jail or prison or homeless, we help them get resources so that does not happen. The cool thing about Centers for Independent Living is they're mandated to have 51% of their staff and board have disabilities. So like I have cerebral palsy. We have great members on our board, like Jacob, who also have disabilities. And it's been so if you are looking for any additional resources or any resources, we are the people to call. Our number is 609-748-2253. That's 609-748-2253. And I'm extension 5. You can also get our other staff. We're open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We also have evening activities in the evening and weekends. And you can check us out on Facebook. Like I said, Atlantic Center for Independent Living. Just put that in your Facebook search bar. Same thing on Instagram. We have an Instagram. And of course, we have a website. Atlantic Center, just Google Atlantic Center for Independent Living and we pop right up. So that's us. It's also important to note, and I don't mean to ramble on and on and on, but we have all kinds of activities. We have chair yoga, We have health and wellness activities. We have activities about being optimistic, setting goals, being accountable, balancing your budget. We have all different types of no cost activities for anybody um, who needs help with any of those skills. You don't even have to identify as having a disability. You can attend our virtual groups. You can get our newsletter. All you have to do is reach out. We're very easy to find. And the other great thing about us is you can work with a great organization like Faces and also still work with us. We don't conflict with any of your services. You don't lose any services by working with us. So yeah, that's us in a very long nutshell. Um, and Jacob, you have any more questions?
Sure, Donald. So I'll go to you personally. When did you start with the Atlantic Center for Independent Living?
Oh, that's a great question. So I started in 2016. So just giving everybody my story. So I grew up in Atlantic County, New Jersey, right in Egg Harbor Township. Went to Egg Harbor Township School District. Then I went to Atlantic Cape Community College, where I got my degree in history. Then I went to Stockton University, where I got my degree in political science. Then I went to Delaware Law School, Widener University, Delaware Law School, where I got my law degree. Then I came back home, and while I was prepping for the bar, I got on the board of the Atlantic Center for Independent Living, and then from there, I was able to apply to become a director because they were looking for a director. Uh, uh, Shortly after I came aboard on the board, so that's how I ended up with the organization, and I've been here ever since. It used to be under the Mental Health Association in New Jersey, but then we had to separate and become our own standalone agency because federal and state regulations require it. So we've been our own standalone agency since 2018, but we've been around since 2016 and we've really grown since then.
Right, I just learned that the other night because I was talking to Scott Elson, who is in your in one of the other cells in New Jersey, and he said, "Oh, you're a board member for Atlantic Cell. That's a small cell."
Oh, is that what he said? Well, yeah, we are small, but we're small and mighty, Scott. And I love Scott, and he always has to pick on me, but I still love him. But we are the newest sill on the block. Um, a lot of the cells have been around 20, 30 years, and we've been around about five. So, and that's a good point to bring up, Jacob, that you hit on is a lot of all cells do the five core services that I talked about, but a lot of centers do other things because they've been around a long time. So they've gotten more resources and more funding and more donations. So it's always important to look at the cell in your area and see exactly what they do because some do different things besides the core services. We're just starting to expand our services, like I talked about with our additional activities, because we were lucky enough to get additional funding in the state budget. So that has really helped. And I worked with Scott and the rest of the directors on that. But I'm glad I'm not the only person Scott's teasing now. That makes me happy. So yeah. Shout out to Scott wherever you are if you see this. Our little small cell is gonna grow and uh continue to impress people.
Yeah, yeah, and as we've said tonight, Donald, there aren't enough resources, there aren't enough advocates out there for people to notice changes. So I'm glad that ACIL and other organizations are being brought to light to make things better, hopefully.
Yeah, that's great. And there aren't a lot of organizations that are about disabilities that have people with that are run by people with disabilities. And I think that's what makes those so unique. Um, and also, I'm sure Faces does this too, where you include the community you serve in the decision making process. And I'm glad to see more and more organizations doing that because it's so important to actually get the the opinion of the people you're serving. You don't want to, you know, have a place that serves people with disabilities with nobody with disabilities on the board or on the staff. So I think that's one thing that SILs really bring to the table.
And like Donald, I'm a part of the South Jersey Field of Dreams. Like I think it would be cool if we had more more people with disabilities on our board, so they get a chance to see what we are, who and what we are, and different inputs and things.
Right. Because who knows better about having a disability, even though all disabilities are different. But like you and I have cerebral palsy, Jacob, it's hard for somebody to tell us what it's like to have cerebral palsy. Like we know better than than most people what it's like to have cerebral palsy, and we don't really need um, to hear people who don't have it tell us. I mean, their opinion's welcome, but we have a lot to input as well because we're the ones who've actually had to navigate the world with cerebral palsy. So, and that's true for all disabilities.
Yeah, not just cerebral palsy, Donald. That's true for if you have children that are on the autism spectrum, Down syndrome, you name it. It's true for everybody. And Donald, I maybe you're seeing this too with the cell. A lot of disabilities now are either not being diagnosed right away or they're not telling people that they have them.
Right. That's a great point too, Jacob. I think the good news is I think we have made a lot of progress in normalizing disability um, and getting people to get diagnosed early, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. There's still a stigma attached to disability, and we work with people all the time in the cell who have disabilities, who identify as having a disability, but maybe don't have, they weren't diagnosed by a doctor with a disability or Social Security denies them disability, but that doesn't mean you don't have a disability. Some people go all throughout school, have a learning disability, and just don't get it recognized. So, um, and that's the stigma that you and I and the cell and faces are always trying to fight back against. That we want disability to just be seen as a normal part of existence and as a normal part of being human. Because the truth is, if you're lucky enough to live long enough, you're going to end up having a disability. So it's just a part of the human condition. So we want it to be more normalized, and we want people to be more accepted with their disabilities and diagnosed early, so that they can get the help and support they need.
And when Isabel said this tonight, we're not disabled, we're differently able. A lot of people with disabilities are able to do the same things as you and I, Donald. They just have different abilities and need different supports.
Exactly, and there's nothing wrong with the word disability, and there's also um, you know, not only can people with disabilities do the same things as everybody else, but we also find ways to succeed despite a lot of things in society making it a lot harder for us to do the same things as everybody else. So, so what we always want to do with faces and the cell wants to do is we want to reduce those barriers so people with disabilities can succeed and don't have to overcome so much. Because sometimes I always make the joke, sometimes I'm sick of overcoming things. Sometimes it should just be accessible from the start, and it should just be easy for people with disabilities to get jobs, to get the transportation they need, and do the things they have to do so they can contribute to society and fully realize their potential. And that's what we're working towards.
Yeah, and Donald, my last question tonight, if someone wanted to become a board member like me or wanted to become involved in the cell, how could they?
Oh, that's a great question, Jacob. Please reach out to me. I'm a good place to start because I'm the director. 609-748-2253 extension 5. 609-748-2253 extension 5. If you're interested in being a board member, in volunteering. If you need any services, if you know anyone that needs services, if you see somebody that needs help and think they could use our number, give them our number. Don't hesitate to reach out. We can always use more people with disabilities. It's like Jacob on the board who want to work and want to contribute and have a lot to offer. And I know sometimes people think, I'm just a person with a disability. I don't have any special, what do I know? And it's like your experience with a disability is counts, and that's important. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you want to contribute or if you need help in any way. If you need help applying for Social Security or getting connected to resources or want to join a fun activity or support group, please reach out. I always say it's not a lifetime commitment if you sign up with us. It's not a marriage proposal. So you can be with us for a long time or a short time. So don't hesitate to reach out. We're not going to lock you into something. So like I said, please call if you want.
And you can always come back if you need help. If you want to
Yes.
be
Yes, that's what's great about it. This is a great. I'll highlight these 2 points, Jacob, because you reminded me. So you don't need any documentation or proof that you have a disability to work with us. You just need to identify as having a disability. Also, you you can be with us, like I said, as long as you want. If you sign up with us, if you become a consumer, you we call you every month and work towards your goals and see if there's anything you need help with. And if you don't need help with anything that month, that's fine. You can say, I don't need help with anything this month. Call me next month. Or you could say, I'm done receiving services. And then, like Jacob say, you can come back. It's an easy, breezy type thing. It's not um, it's not more homework or more busyness for your life. It's support and assistance for helping you become as independently as you want.
Yes, so friends, on that note, friends, please donate. Faces need you. These organizations, the Atlantic Center for Independent Living, we cannot run without you. COVID has put a major damper on things. Please donate if you can. Please get involved in your communities. Please get involved in sales if you would like. Donald gave you all the contact information. I'll drop it down the bottom of tonight's broadcast. Please donate. Faces need you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Faces. And thank you, Jacob, for having me. And thank you all so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, Donald.
What time is it now?